U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms presents Center Mass on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. Here's your host, Rod Williams.
Saturday, November 19th. Hello, I'm Rod Williams. I'm here with my pal, Farmer Greg Barkley. Hallelujah, the greatest country in the world, the greatest country in history will be great again. And I'm brimming with optimism and I'm giddy with delight. I'm walking in rhythm about 3 feet off the ground, and maybe I'm dreaming, but here's what I see happening in the future. Hispanic Californians are registering as libertarians and Republicans en masse. They figured out that the elitists in the mainstream media have been playing them, and they're fed up. No one's paying attention to the discredited mainstream media. The race baiters that are the Democrats are no longer getting away with it. There is a movement underway to remove race from the government documents, and the boxes that you check for race and ethnicity, they'll at least add one that says American and quit dividing us. Our society is tired of glorifying bad behavior, and no one's trying to be politically correct. The citizens of California and the rest of the country are turning their backs on Hollywood, mainstream media, and the leftist race-baiting, politically correct babble. Our president and leaders are currently strengthening and expanding our military, and we are leading our allies in the rest of the world, including Russia, in destroying the threat of radical Islam and stamping out all of its incarnations, and all terrorists have a price on their heads. No one's buying products made in other countries because they're being made here again, and no one wants to give up those jobs to save a few pennies. Americans are being put to work and are busy making American products again. Most taxes and overregulation have been greatly reduced, if not altogether stamped out. Professional politicians have been ran out of government and sent home tarred and feathered. No one's willing to tolerate the lying elitist establishment cronies any longer. Hollywood's been brought to heel and is producing wholesome and patriotic content again. Newspapers and television shows and news reporters are required to report the truth in an unbiased way. No more propaganda and brainwashing allowed. Radio is king again. The USA owns the internet. We invented the internet, and we're not giving it away to the UN or any other form of multinational government. Its content largely uncensored with the exception of pornography and jihadist recruitment, which is simply not tolerated. Our children are being taught the true history of our country, and our world is not the liberal brainwashing history. They're allowed to pray in school. We salute the flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance every morning because we are a country it's worth pledging allegiance to again. No sports guys who are lucky enough to make their living playing a game refuse to stand for our national anthem. The heart of our nation is patriotic again. Violent criminals and drug dealers are no longer tolerated, yet fewer people are incarcerated in our prisons than ever before because our collective social morality is at a never-before-seen high. It's now considered cool to worship Jesus and believe in God and be a Christian. It's now cool again to worship God and be a Jew and not have to worry about someone picking on you for your beliefs. We have heroes for our kids again who are cowboys and soldiers and astronauts or maybe scientists. Sports heroes, all of these heroes represent high ethics and morality and standards. Spoiled thugs are no longer tolerated as entertainers or considered sportsmen. Musicians are making beautiful music again, not stupid, destructive rhymes to the beat of a ridiculous synthesized bass with no rhythmic value whatsoever. Country music's making a comeback, not cookie-cutter Nashville rhyme or rock tripe, but real good old country music. Rock and roll and soul music are being played again and enjoyed. New songs are being written every day with lyrics that are positive and uplifting, or at least poetic, and not simply the rhymes of thugs embracing a lifestyle of idiotic, stupid losers of the world. People are embracing jazz and bluegrass again. There's a new era of quality entertainment that's good for the soul and feeds the soul. It makes people feel happy inside, not filled with lust, hate, and anger. Our country is great again, a new renaissance, a sense of greatness among all its people, a sense of national pride. Call it nationalism if you want, but it's a sense of belonging to a wonderful and knowing how wonderful it is to be an American and still respect people of other countries and cultures, but putting ours first and taking care of our own. a sense of wonder that all the great things we're accomplishing again. Each and every man, woman, and child doing their part to make our country and our society the greatest of all. Our country has an understanding that we must do hard things to fight the battle for good and fight against evil. With the willingness and pride, we go forward as a country and do the hard things that we have to do. Our country is great again. America is greater than ever. Not one separated out. No one's going to be separated out over economic class or race. We're a country where every American's proud to call themselves an American. No hyphens, no slashes, no qualms or equivocations, just American. No one will ever have to make apologies or excuses for what it is to be American again. Those who still exist in the rest of the world who don't like us are either jealous or evil or a combination of both. With hard work and faith in the Lord, willingness, all these things can happen. American companies will be building plants and facilities, will be manufacturing goods. Again, everybody here wants a job, will have one. Those who are sick or can't work will be taken care of because we are a great and charitable people. Those who are unwilling or are too lazy to work will be ignored and not catered to because political correctness will no longer be the rule of the day. This election and the major changes that we're about to see in our country are proof that the spirit and the desire for all of these things still lives within us. There is a great moral majority, and those who are lost, have no ethics or no morality, will have to get out of the way or get rolled under by the changing tide. It's time for national pride and decency. Let evil and angry people stand on the sidelines and whine and complain as usual while the rest of us make America great again. It can happen, folks. You better believe it. I pray every day it can happen. And God answers prayers, and I know there's a lot more people praying than just me. Now it's time that we here in California start changing things right here. Let's join together, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever your religion, gay, straight. Let's forget about all these labels and put this junk behind us. It's the tool of the elitist politicians used to keep us from joining together and becoming a great moral majority that we should be. All people of goodwill and morality should join together and defeat these evil, controlling, liberal, elitist rulers and globalists and root out their little minions and people in our society who don't want to work or who constantly complain, who live off the system, who have low morality, low ethics, and even lower expectations. Let's put them all in their place. Now, I know what it's like to have that lump in the pit of your stomach when you know you're in for a fight and you can't avoid it. But I also know what it feels like to have the ecstasy of feeling which you feel when you win a hard-fought fight. You may take a little beating in the process, but it's a feeling of completeness and a lightness that works in your stomach, and those lumps and those rocks in your stomach are gone. And your heart's filled with contentment that you've won your liberty, your freedom, and your right to pursue happiness. And there's no feeling like that. It's time to take back our state, our country, our cities, our counties. It's time to change the hearts and minds and become a great people again, American people, not a divided people. What would a day be like in conservative libertarian land? You'd wake up in the morning with a feeling of pride, knowing that you're going to do a fair day's work for a good day's pay and plenty of time to spend with your family and your needs are met. The warm feeling inside, knowing that your kids are having a good time in school and not being bullied by the thug children of thugs and they're not even there to learn. Of knowing your children are being taught the right things in school, schools of your choice, that you have a say over where your dollars are getting spent, not the government-ran schools that they get brainwashed and indoctrinated into dependence on the government. And the teachers who are outnumbered by the administrators are getting paid just to be there and not produce results. Then as your day goes on, you think of your wife at home with the littlest ones. We live in a country where a family can live on one income again. You finish your day's work and head home knowing you're going to deposit your check and not have most of it stolen with taxes. When you go to spend money, you know you won't be paying twice as much for things because of all the hidden taxes. You stop and get some fuel, and you know that half of it's not being spent on hidden fuel taxes. You drive up to your beautiful home that you can afford because we've abolished a greater percentage of property taxes. You wave at your neighbor who likes you and you get along with because you're both enjoying a good life and you don't stop and think that he's some other ethnicity or religion. You celebrate the 4th of July together because you're Americans. You fly American flags. You celebrate American holidays. It's just a better place. And you know in the pit of your stomach that we're all lucky to have it and we deserve it because we work hard to make it that way and are willing to fight hard to keep it. So as individuals, we're flawed. We've got our hang-ups. We're not perfect. But when we join together as Americans, as a moral majority, we can do great things beyond ourselves as individuals. Well, it's true that men are weak and flawed, but God is great, and God will help you do all these things. He can make them all a reality. This election was our first step to make it happen. Okay, right after the break, we'll be back, and I'm going to talk about Proposition 63 and SB 80 and all the new gun laws. I want somebody to call in at 247-CALL. That's 247-2255. You're listening to Power Talk, 96.7 FM, 1400 AM. This is Center Mass.
U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms presents Center Mass on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. Here again is Rod Williams.
Whoa. You're back with the Patriots on Center Mass. You can hear our show on podcast simply by searching Power Talk 96.7, opening the website, clicking on demand, and from there, Center Mass. You can hear the show when out of town on iHeartRadio on the internet. Lots of big things coming soon. You will soon be able to check us out on our new website, CenMass.com. That's CenMass.com. We will be hosting a whole bunch of podcasts, videos, internet radio shows that will be on YouTube and other formats, but you can get everywhere from CenMass.com. Our store is U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms at 2135 Whitendale Avenue in Visalia, at the corner of Mooney and Whitendale behind the 76 station. You can call our store at 734-ARMS, that's 734-2767, or just come in and visit with Mr. Woomer and myself. This segment of our show is brought to you by my friend Ed Morton at Keller & Williams Realty. Give him a call at 859-4840, BRE number 01409444. I want to know what you think, and I want you to call the show. Call me at 247-CALL, 247-2255. If you don't call, I'll have to talk to Farmer Greg, and I'd rather talk to you. Okay, I promised I'd explain the upcoming new gun laws and when they take effect and all that. So listen up. Here we go. SB 80, Greg, can you hardly wait for SB 80 to kick in?
I can wait a long time for SB 80.
All right, these are the ones that Brown just signed in and you never even got a chance to vote on. You just think you're free. You're not. California has been trying to eliminate or criminalize possession of ARs and AK-style rifles for 17 years. Since the Assault Weapons Act of 1989, California has defined an assault weapon by a semi-automatic centerfire rifle with a removable magazine, plus any of the following, and for the sake of this narrative, evil features: a pistol grip, forward pistol grip, adjustable stock, flash suppressor. So for the remainder of this article, we'll call those evil features. The key word here is removable magazine. Since 2007, AKR and AK owners have been able to use the bullet button to avoid classification of assault weapon because the gun wouldn't have a removable magazine. But since when SB 880 gets enacted, that will no longer, the bullet button will no longer make the rifle a non-removable magazine. We're going to have to do something else. So they close what they seen as a loophole. You may not purchase a rifle or even a strip lower after January 2017 that has any of the above evil features. That's the flash suppressor, the pistol grip, the forward pistol grip, the adjustable stock, if it has a removable magazine. So you won't even be able to buy this from a dealer or a private party. So you will be required to register any of these type rifles that you currently own as an assault weapon before January of 2018, or you'll be guilty of a felony if you don't register your weapon with the California Department of Justice before this time or remove the evil features. Registration of an assault weapon will be done via a website and require a fee of $20. The fee, of course, is subject to change. You can only register weapons that you've owned prior to January 1st, 2017, as taking possession of an assault rifle after that time will be illegal. Who does owning an assault rifle? What does that mean? So if you register your gun as an assault weapon, there are draconian limitations on how you own and transport the guns. You can never sell it. You can't give it away. You can't lend it. You can't trade it. When you die, it dies with you. It'll have to be turned in or maybe sold out of state. Nor can you can't hand it down to your spouse or your children. If you move out of state, you can't bring it back into the state should you come back. When you die, your guns will just have to be relinquished. Your spouse or children will be given 90 days to send a gun out of state, or turn it into a gun dealer or something. So, can you lend your gun to a friend? No, you can never lend your assault rifle to a friend, or you have to do a year in county jail. When does this go in effect? You may not purchase an AR with any of the evil features or a stripped lower that will contain any evil features after January 1st, 2017. You must register any gun with evil features with the DOJ and pay the fee before January 1st, 2018. If you do not register the gun or remove the features, you're guilty of a felony. So how can you avoid registering the gun at all as an assault weapon? You can do this one of two ways. To avoid classification as assault weapon, you need to do just one of them, not both of them. First, you can install a device that requires you to disassemble the action in order to remove the magazine and reload. Not very fun to shoot, but it will work. This is called a mag lock. I think they're going to call it
release,
mag lock release or what have you. It's really not that bad. You pull a pin on the rear of your receiver, swing the thing open. It works out pretty good. The other thing you can do is change the stock so the gun becomes featureless. You don't have a muzzle. You don't have a flash suppressor. You have a muzzle brake. You won't need your bullet button anymore. You'll be able to have a detachable magazine, just like the gun started out to be, but you'll have to change the stock to a stock that doesn't use the pistol grip. And they're kind of weird looking, but the guns function real good with them. And then you won't have to register these at all. So you can remove all your features and use a shark fin or a stock without a pistol grip, or you can use the mag lock. You have to replace, again, your flash hider will need to replace the compensator, and your adjustable carbine stock will have to be pinned in place permanently, and you can't have a forward grip. Go ahead, Greg.
So after that point, do you think manufacturers will start shipping them in with that with the release?
They're going to.
I mean, they started installing bullet buttons.
We always react to the draconian, unconstitutional laws by doing that, so that's how it's going to go. Okay, featureless means no evil features that were mentioned before. And so that's how you go. Okay, what about AR pistols? If you have an AR pistol, the same requirements as an AR rifle with a few kickers make you even angrier. Well, the rifle simply needs to have a compensator instead of a flash hider. A pistol is prevented from having a threaded barrel capable of accepting any kind of thing screwed onto it. This means that your AR pistol must have a compensator that is permanently pinned or welded to the barrel. In addition, handguards, sometimes called rails, are considered an evil feature. Therefore, it really isn't possible to make a pistol featureless. Your AR pistol is an assault weapon as of January 1st, 17. It must be registered at the DOJ by January 18. So, the pistol's a bigger problem. What about 80% lower? Same as above. You can still buy a lower. You don't need to rush out and buy a lower right now, but you won't be able to put any, should you assemble it with any evil features, then you'll be illegal. But should you not, you can still possess a lower. Does this mean you can remove your bullet button? And yes, if you go featureless, you can remove it. So, that's actually a gain a little bit. They didn't plan on that one, Smedley. Okay, bolt action guns not affected. 22 rifles are... the law specifies center fire, so this doesn't affect your 22. Your pistols, it doesn't affect. There's other laws that pertain to the pistols. You will be able to purchase strip lowers still. However, they must never be put together with the evil features. Can you sell your rifle after 2017? No, not if it contains evil features. But if you unevilize it, then you can sell it. You can sell it featureless, but only if it was never registered as an assault weapon. So if you're stupid enough to register it and not change it, then you won't ever sell it. Can you turn your assault weapon into a featureless gun and then sell it once it's been registered? Yes, you can turn your registered assault weapon into a featureless gun and sell it, trade or transfer it, pass it down. However, it must be deregistered with the DOJ, and that's a process that you'll have to enter into through the deregistration process through the DOJ, but it must remain featureless forever after that, unless it leaves the state. Is this convoluted enough? But I'm trying to make it clear. What if you live out of state and you're moving to California? Can you bring your rifle with you? Stupid question, because obviously you got to adhere to all the things we just talked about. Okay, well, let's move on to 68, the one that just passed, as I promised I would. It's Proposition 68 requires individuals who wish to purchase ammunition to first obtain a permit. The measure mandates that dealers check this permit before selling you ammunition. The measure also eliminates several exemptions to the large capacity magazine ban and increased the penalty for possessing them. Proposition 63 enacted a court process that attempts to ensure prohibited individuals do not continue to have firearms. They already had all these things covered before, but let's beat on it again. As of January, Proposition 63, as of January 1st of 2008, you recall all ammunition sales with few exceptions to be conducted through a ammunition vendor. This means you cannot sell any ammunition to your neighbor or sibling unless a licensed ammunition vendor performs a transfer, much like guns. And if you want to sell more than 500 rounds in a 30-day period, you must be a licensed ammunition vendor. These transactions must be done face-to-face, no mail-order purchase of ammunition. 63 requires background checks to repurchase ammunition. You will have to pay a fee up to $50 and wait up to 30 days for every 4 years for your application to to purchase ammunition. Each time you purchase ammunition, the vendor will have to verify that you are who you say you are and have proper authorization to System Firearms. Some places they do this, they want 2 forms of ID, just like to buy a gun. Anything to prevent you from getting. So residents have no restrictions on bringing ammunition here, which will create a black market for out-of-state terrorists and drug dealers and stuff like that. As you can see, Proposition 63 is not very smart or logical, but we pass it anyway because Californians will pass any law, especially ones where they think they're going to get a free handout, though not the case here. Okay, license to sell ammo. Dealer's going to have to buy a license. There's some exemption for 50 rounds or less for hunting, but I don't really understand that exemption. I think it's reads something like hunters buying 50 rounds or less ammunition per month for hunting trips were not required to obtain a license. But, don't hold me to that one. That's kind of ambiguous how this thing's written in here, and I kind of haven't interpreted it properly. Large cap magazines. They were grandfathered in before 2000, but 63 removes the grandfathership. And so everybody with large capacity magazines over 10 round will be expected to turn them in at their own expense. Court removal of firearms. It speaks to stuff about the courts removing firearms from people who have been judged unable to have them. It's long and convoluted. It doesn't apply to most people, but it is another way for them to get your arms against you. Out-of-state purchases. California not be able to pay its license. It probably will help stores like us because it'll stop the internet sale of ammunition because you'll have to transfer it through a dealer, which it'll get marked up. It won't make sense. You'll have to report to theft or you'll be a felon. If you get a gun stolen and you don't report it within 48 hours, you're going to end up being I think it'll be an infraction, actually, not a felony, but reporting. Penalty for thefts are made stiffer, that's almost a good thing, but it always comes in a package with a lot of bad stuff. Proposition 63 made stealing a gun, including one of less than $950, a felony, because now you can steal something up to $950. It's no longer a felony. So there's how 63 works. Look, folks, we need to take a break. So call us at 247-CALL. That's 247-2255. And we'll be right back on Power Talk 96.7 FM, 1400 AM.
U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms presents Center Mass on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. Once again, Rod Williams.
Back with the Powerhouse on Power Talk. Our store is U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms, 2135 Whitendale Avenue in Visalia at the corner of Mooney and Whitendale behind the 76 station. You can call the store at 734-ARMS. That's 734-2767. Woomer's waiting there to make you a great deal on any gun you want. Well, you can still get one. We buy, we sell, we trade, we take consignments. Come and see me. If you need a gun fixed or clean, maybe a scope mounted, we have a gunsmith, so come down and see us. Give us a call at 734-ARMS. If you want the lowest price on any gun, just call us and we'll give you a quote over the phone. If you know what you want, you'll get the lowest price. If you quote it over the phone, you come in and pay for it. That's called a gun by appointment. You can get a good deal. If you don't know what you want, you're shopping, you just come in and shop as normal. Order exact gun you want and you will get the best deal. I'll tell you what, we'll soon be able to check out our new website, cenmass.com. That's CENMASS.com. And we'll be bringing you a whole new host, a bunch of podcasts, videos, internet radio shows. It'll be off the hook. You'll love it. It will be fun. I guarantee it. YouTube videos, all kinds of other formats. Check out our Facebook page, U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms. You can call this show right now at 247-CALL. That's 247-2255. All right, we got Steve on line 2. Hello, Steve.
Hello, hi.
How you doing, buddy?
I have a question.
All right.
Well, my uncle was a Vietnam vet. He passed away, and he told my aunt to hand me down a little pistol he had. So I tried to see if I can get it registered, but they say there's no way I can because he's no longer living. Is there any way I can get around that?
Your aunt, the gun immediately becomes your aunt's property. It is your aunt's property, a community property in California. If it's registered to him and she's married to him, it's her gun. You can bring your aunt and that gun to our gun shop, and we can. I don't think a interfamilial transfer works between an uncle and a nephew. That may or may not be the case. I don't think it is. I think it's immediate family. But we can transfer that gun from your aunt to you. You just need to call or come into the shop, and we'll get Mr. Woomer will figure that all out for you.
Nice.
It can be done. So,
all right, that's all I wanted to know.
All right, Steve. God bless. Have a good day.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Greg, these idiots want to censor the internet. They think they're smarter than all of us, and they want to control social media sites that are owned by a bunch of liberal elitists to start with. That's who controls the, Facebook and Twitter and all this stuff. And they're starting to censor, content if you're conservative. By the way, Proposition 63, don't think, folks, that isn't going to get fought, because the California Rifle Pistol Association is definitely bringing lawsuits to fight 63, and the NRA is going to behind. Now that we got Trump elected, we've got some extra change laying around to do some of these fights, and now we're going to end up with a conservative Supreme Court, and things may start changing here a little bit, and we're going to talk about getting California back. But at any rate, Republicans now control. Man, I mean, it's amazing. We got a record 68% of the state houses, legislatures are under Republican control. 67 of the 98 partisan state legislative chambers in the nation are now under Republican control. That's more than any other time in history of the Republican Party. Let's not screw it up, Republicans. Next year, the GOP will control both legislative chambers in 32 states, an all-time high. Democrats will control just 13 states. It's about time. In 24 of 32 states, Republican-controlled legislatures, voters have elected Republican governments. This is the highest. Barack Obama has been the best thing ever for Republicans.
Yeah.
He did such a jacked-up job. When he took office, there was like 28 Democratic governors and 22 Republicans. And after his failed legacy of health care and destroying our country, there are 31 Republican governors and 18 Democratic governors. Hallelujah! It's starting to go our way. Hopefully the stupid knuckleheads that are the establishment won't screw this all up for us. Hey, look, we got Payne on, John on line 1. Let's talk to John. Hello, John.
How's it going? Good show.
Thanks,
hey,
buddy.
I got a couple of things. Where can I get anything in writing that has these new gun laws? Do they have them at like sporting goods, gun shops?
I don't really know. I go on the internet and research most of this stuff, like most people do. Just type in Barbara Hollingsworth, November 16, 2016, or I'm sorry, take that back. Just type in, go to like Ballotopedia or something like that, but just type in Proposition 63. And tons of information will come up. And then also another one you can type in that kind of gets you where you want to go is SB 880. And you type that stuff in there, and you just have to spend your time kind of trolling around on there, and you'll find all that information out.
WikiLeaks has all that stuff on there as well. So
I have one other question.
Okay.
I'm retired law enforcement, and our union said that if because I bought the guns that I have were bought many moons ago, but they had the 15, 14 round magazine, and do retired law enforcement
if this stuff sticks,
people have to comply?
Yes. If this stuff sticks, you're going to be turning them in. You're going to be giving them away. Your hard-earned dollared magazines, you're getting given away.
Okay.
Yep.
So this new law pertains to everybody up to and including Donald Trump then in California.
Yeah, theoretically.
Oh, man, that's bad news.
Well, thanks for the call, John. You have
Thank
a
you,
blessed
sir.
day. Bye-bye.
Okay, I will. Bye.
Here, you got another caller, line 2, Charles. Hello, Charles.
Yeah, I just heard that, gentleman. Law enforcement retired is exempt. You might want to recheck that.
Well, I've heard it put two different ways, but if it's exempt, if law enforcement retired is exempt, then that's fine. Good for good for them.
Porac sent a flyer out regarding that.
Thanks for correcting that.
Yeah. So my question is twofold. First of all, if the guns that you registered as assault weapons under the Roos-Roberti bill, do those need to be reapplied for and pay yet another fee?
It's my understanding if they're already registered as assault weapons that you do not need to re-register them at this point. Those are already registered as assault weapons.
Okay, and you mentioned pistols. I didn't recall anything in the bill.
That's what I said is that pistols do not need to be registered.
Okay, so assault pistols, like an AR-15 pistol, does not need to be registered.
Well, no, but you're not going to be able to. You're not going to probably be able to register it, so you're going to have to dispose of it theoretically. I said your pistols like Glocks, your normal black pistols and revolvers. This doesn't encompass them, but AR type pistols, quote unquote assault pistols, yeah,
that have a detachable magazine.
You're going to have to figure out how to make those. You're going to have to not have anything threads on the barrel. You're going to have to completely fix your barrel device. No detachable magazine. So, and you're not going to be able to make any new ones, so to speak. So,
yeah, I know you can't make any new ones, but I was under the impression that this only had to do with rifles. It had nothing to do with pistols.
Well, not normal pistols in the sense, but the ones that look like ARs they're lumped in there.
Okay, a very confusing bill by a lot of confusion.
It always is. I have trouble relating it to people on the air here because it is confusing, and I got to go fast. I got a lot of content to cover in a day. But like I said, you can always come down to our shop, and we'll go over them in more detail if we need to. If there's something specific that pertains to somebody, we'll cover it in greater detail in the shop.
You have a great show, and I listen to it every Saturday because it's very informative.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate that. God bless.
Yeah, good one. Bye-bye.
Okay, we got Payne on line 3. Hello, Payne.
Hey, enjoy your show, except I wish you'd speak slowly.
It's hard because I only got an hour and I got a lot of things we want to get said on here. So
well, you could actually do better if you just leave off all the ahs. You put those.
I appreciate your critique of my style.
Yeah, it's bad.
But I'm imperfect. Well, okay. Well, God bless you and have a good day. Thank you.
I want to ask you
what
if I want to.
All right, Greg. What do you think? They're going to censor the internet. You think that's going to work out too good? You think they're going to get away with that? You know, they want to stifle us because this election got, kind of taken over by.
Well, yeah, it was really getting ridiculous for a while there on social media. I mean, after a while you kind of you had to really look at the website to see what was real and what was fake. I mean, it was just coming out by the minute. I mean, there was just stuff flooding over, and so it really got crazy. Even some of the Republican side, conservative side, even came out with lists of fake websites and don't trust, that they went out and actually looked at them and decided if they were fake or not. And so, yeah, I mean, but you know what? It's always scary. It's just like guns. It's just like, they say they want to censor that, and then it just gets out of hand.
Look, we need to take a break. So we're going to take a little break and let the show get paid for. You're listening to Power Talk, 96.7 FM and 1400 AM, and we'll be right back.
U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms presents Center Mass on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. Here again is Rod Williams.
You're back. Our store is U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms at 2135 West Whitendale and Visalia at Mooney behind the 76 station. You can call our store at 734-2767. That's 734-ARMS. Questions are free. Stupid questions cost $0.25. And I got to say a lot of those for my buddy. Lots of big things coming soon. You will soon be able to see and hear our show on our new website, cenmass.com. That's CENMASS.com. There will be a lot of other content on the website, and we hope you'll enjoy it. We'll have all the time in the world on there to bring it to you slowly and concisely and clearly. There will be videos on gunsmithing, various types of shooting, as well as Center Mass Hear the Truth videos and podcasts. It'll all be on centermass.com. Check us out on Facebook, U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms. Call our show at 247-CALL, 247-2255. We want to hear from you. We're going to I'm going to get out this week and do some shooting, I hope, this week and next, and then I'll be doing some gun reviews. Now that the elections are over, we're going to try to make a little more gun content in the show and not as much political stuff, but I love political stuff, so we're going to always do some of that. Hey, want to brag, Greg? Last Sunday, I shot a clean round and trap from the 27-yard line. I don't think I've ever busted all 25 from the 27-yard line before. So
that's amazing.
I'm bragging about that. I thought I was going to get hit by a lightning bolt toward the end there, like on Caddyshack.
Caddyshack, exactly. Perfect round.
So, any rate, look, I'm going to take a couple more callers, Greg, and then we're going to talk about you shooting your new Glock 36.
Okay. Perfect.
On line one, Ed. Hello, Ed.
Hey, hi, Rod.
Hi, buddy.
Nice show,
Thanks.
as usual. Hey, I was just, I'm reaching way out in the left field probably, but I wish President Trump could bring online Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. They've contributed so much to good mankind.
I hope he pardons them, is what I hope he does.
That's exactly, Rod, you nailed it. And if you could bring them to Trump Tower or somewhere where they would be clothed by the Secret Service like him, they've earned it, Rod.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way, man. People can call them what they want, whatever. You probably should take it to Congress first when you know something, or take it. But it would have fell on deaf ears with that establishment Congress, and they blew the whistle. And sometimes whistleblowers are heels, but in this case, I think you're 100% right. He needs to pardon those guys.
Yeah, I'll get off because I see your time's running out, but I've got some other items, but I'll save them for next week.
Save them for next week, man, because I really appreciate your call. So call me next week and let's talk, finish it up then.
Will do, Rod. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Dave, line 2. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Your show rocks.
Thanks, buddy.
I got a quick gun question, then I got a comment.
All right.
The gun question is, the Smith & Wesson, the M&P 1522, is that affected by any of these laws?
No, you should be fine. I think that thing, what's that whole 8 rounds in a magazine, something like that?
Well, it's 10, and it looks like an evil gun, but it's just a 22.
No, you're fine. That thing's fine. That thing's there's nothing really kind of hanging over its head, so...
Okay, so I'm going to call your right-hand man and tell him to go back on it, because I was going to buy one and decided not to.
Well, I don't know if it's on the roster or not. That I can't speak to. But you call Woomer and he'll get it all straightened out with you. He can check the roster.
Hey, dude, listen, you know what? Guns and politics on your show. I'm definitely for it, but the politics need to be all about the corrupt, drain the swamp in California government.
Oh, brother, you don't know. I got a stack of stuff in front of me that we're going to, because I can't get out of politics. I love talking it. I only got an hour here. We do some guns, but we're going to talk over and over about appealing to the Hispanics in our state, that their ethics and their morals and what they believe goes hand in hand with libertarianism and Republican Party and Libertarian Party. And we need to reach out to them and get them to change, because they make up a great bit of our population. And we need to make them understand that they feel more like we do than what they've been fed. And we are going to get this state back, man. This is what's next.
Have them join together. Have them join together with us.
Absolutely.
Jerry Brown. He can't finish his term. He needs to go now. We need to teach him a lesson. We need to speak like the rest of this country has spoke up.
That's what my whole monologue was.
Nancy Pelosi.
That's what my whole monologue was about, brother.
Out of San Francisco to stop dictating everyone else.
We're gonna get it back. We got the federal thing. Now we're gonna get our state back. That's what my whole monologue was about, and we're not giving up.
Knock Gavin Newsom off of his keister right now because he thinks he's just going to step right into the governorship.
He's the biggest blowtard ever.
Who the heck do we have to run for governor as a Republican now?
Amen, brother. Hallelujah. You're speaking to the choir. God, I love you.
Put that recall Jerry Brown sticker and deport Gavin Newsom now stickers on your bumper. All right, bro. I love you.
I love you too, brother.
Okay, bye.
Adios. All right, Greg. How do you like that? How do you like them apples, Turbo?
Yeah, that was good.
That guy knows what it is.
Fired up.
Gets me all fired up.
Take our state back.
Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, man. Hey, how'd your Glock 36 shoot?
Hey, loved it.
Forget about politics.
I just wanted to thank Mr. Woomer for hooking me up with this gun and a little single stack 45. It was my first Glock.
Woomer's the McShizzle, bro.
He really is. I love that guy. But my first Glock, and so it took a little bit of doing with the trigger break was a little different than
but it's got a great reset on it.
Yes, it does. And I shot it next to my Kimber Ultra Carry 245, and after I got through about a couple hundred rounds, I started, from about 15 yards out, I started nailing it, about a 2 or 3 inch.
You could actually hit the target out there.
Yeah. At first
feet.
it was going a little wacky. So yeah, it was getting a little crazy. I love my Kimber. I mean, that thing is just dead nuts accurate. But by the time I had a few hundred rounds through, the Glock was running pretty smooth. So
you need to be careful out there shooting on your ranch. A buddy of mine just wrote me this note. He sent it to me email. This is from my pal Dave Matthews. Hello, fellow deplorables. FYI, when target shooting in Mojave on private property, Fish and Game stopped and check us on our guns out. Then he asked if we had any high-cap magazines, which it's very early to be active. They try to implement stuff before it's actually law.
Sure.
And that's when my buddy, the landowner, informed him that he was on private property and that no laws were being broken. I asked him to leave, which I find good, civil disobedience in a polite and respectful way.
Sure.
There was a short stare-off with the officer, and I could see him assessing our firepower, and that's what he does. He's a cop. He wants to survive too, but Fish and Game really oversteps. I'm the first guy to say that. And then he, not always. There's some good things about it. Don't think I'm just a hater, but they do, and they got way too much power. Then he told us that he was just doing his job to be safe and enjoy the day. And most game wardens, as individuals that I've come across, are awesome people. Let's face it. It's just a bureaucracy that creates a problem. They think he's nervous about thinking he might be back with the friends. We decided to cut out, and I believe we were in complete compliance with current gun laws. And he was a bit nervous about having 20, 30-round mags because, they're going to go away. But for now, he was okay if they're grandfathered in. He looked at my PAR 223, and it looked like a 30-round, but he didn't pick it up. He says this guy made them feel like a couple of criminals. And that is the problem. That's when the rub starts.
I worry more about the Fish and Game coming out than I do sheriff's deputies. That the guy that was in the shop
I'm a big fan of sheriff's department, man.
I am too. And, that deputy that came in the shop a couple weeks ago, he kind of put me at ease saying that, they wouldn't even come out or check it unless they got phone calls. And, and even then, they're not going to sit there and look at what we got. He just is going to, make sure we're legit and everything else, have the right to be there, and it's our property. But other than that, they're not going to research it much. But he did say, I can't speak for the Fish and Game. That is one area that you just don't know. So I don't think I'm going to get in an area where Fish and Game would be hunting around at anyways. So.
Man, I had a couple of stories that we're just not going to be able to get them in here today. But one was a really cool one about Chili's gave free food lunches away to veterans on Veterans Day. And, of course, someone had a big stinking match. We'll talk about that next week. It'll keep. George Soros and all the elitist globalists met in New York, already planning how they're going to undermine Trump. And that can wait for next week. Couple of funny ones is we just had 3 young Somali guys that were in, I want to say Minneapolis, go get huge prison sentences, 20, 30 years, because they wanted to be jihadists. And I wish them luck. And oh, by the way, I want to shout out to my friend Lickety Split. Hey, Lickety, make sure you split. He knows who he is, and he knows what we're talking about. Good old Lickety Split. All right, that's it. You don't have us to push around anymore. Thanks for listening. Please remember, freedom is never free. Participate in the debate and vote. Get out with that family and shoot. Work hard and pray without ceasing. God bless you. Jesus rocks.